I really think as aggressive as I was last week, I was not aggressive enough.
Really?
I really believe
so
that.
this is going to be a good aggressive week.
I mean, here we are. We are exactly where I told you we'd be.
This is going to be a nasty week.
This country can't be governed. This country does not have the capacity anymore to be governed. And if the consequences weren't so dire, I'd let the other side have at it. I mean, I was thinking about this over the weekend. Let's put Anderson Cooper in charge of something. Let's put Chuck Todd in charge of something. Let's put Dianne Feinstein. I mean, literally. I mean, I'm talking about where metrics and measurables matter. It goes back to the old analogy or theory of let's build a white picket fence right in the middle of America, and let's let the left have half of it and the right have the other half, and let's see who knows what they're doing or not. I said many, many moons ago that I was deeply concerned about this country's capacity to be governed. And here we are. Now Jernigan made a valid point that because the Republicans did to Merrick Garland what they did, nothing will ever be the same. But, I mean, that's a Democrat trying to blame the Republicans for where we are now. The Republicans never tried to destroy a man's life. The Republicans didn't give him a hearing. I think they should have. I really believe that the sitting president has the right to appoint his Supreme Court nominee if he's still the president. Now, we can go to the politics and Joe Biden. You know, that's kind of what the Republicans leaned on. Biden said you shouldn't do it in an election year, especially when the American public are in the process of choosing their president. That's politics. I get that. I mean, that's, you know, I want my side to win and you want your side to win. But never before have the Republicans tried to not just impugn the integrity of an individual, but slander and defame and just completely destroy a man's credibility and character. That's what we're dealing with. And I go back to something I said last week. On our side, folks, if you're not willing to get blood on your knuckles and dirt under your fingernails, you're going to lose this fight. Because it's clear as a bell what you're dealing with. I think I tweeted last week, if you believe you're dealing with honest brokers, you'll get what you deserve. If you believe you're dealing with people who are reasonable, rational, practical, responsible, and have the best interests of this country at heart, you'll get exactly what you deserve. You're dealing with people who worship an ideology. They're not rational. They're not responsible. They're not reasonable. They don't have to be rational because they got a propaganda arm called the media. They don't have to be reasonable. They don't have to be responsible. They can do anything they wish to do, and the media will fan the flames. And I said last week, as soon as this lady's account becomes flimsy, and it has, they'll find another. And last night, the New Yorker magazine came up with some lady who says she was at some party. She can't remember the details, but she thinks Brett Kavanaugh did some pretty unsavory things. Now, I'm not going down the explicit road of the script, but and it's a news story. And it will lead NBC News. It will lead ABC News. It will lead CBS News. And I listened to what somebody yesterday, a Democrat senator said on Meet the Press before I went to church. A Democrat senator said on Meet the Press, when somebody says, my car got stolen, we don't doubt them. When somebody says my house got broken into, we don't doubt them. Why should we doubt these ladies? To which I'd respond, simply this. If somebody said Dave Baker broke into my house or Ken Ard stole my car, then you better have some proof. You better have some evidence. You better have something to corroborate your story. It's obvious somebody broke into your house. But when you start singling out an individual and no corroboration, no substantiation, it doesn't make a rat's rear end to the left today. Zero. I'm not saying every Democrat's bad. I'm just arguing the Democrats in Washington are completely and totally motivated at advancing a liberal agenda. And anybody they see as a legitimate or illegitimate threat to the advancing of that agenda, they will stop at nothing. Not just to not allow him to be confirmed, but to destroy, to annihilate, to defame, to embarrass. It's who they are. And I've been saying this for 3 or 4 years, and we whistle past the graveyard. Oh, Ken, come on. You can reason. No, you can't. No, you can't. Listen to them. Watch them. This is who they are. This is who they become. They aren't rational people or rational people. They aren't reasonable people. They aren't commonsensical people. If they were, they would question the stories just as we are, but they don't. The left believes that every woman deserves to be believed. And with all due respect to our female listeners, that's hogwash. Every woman does not deserve to be believed. You don't deserve to be believed. I don't deserve to be believed. You know what I deserve? I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be heard. I don't deserve to be believed. And if we've gotten to a place in America, and we have, I mean, not only can one person not corroborate a story, not substantiate a story, have no evidence, now when that kind of begins to fall apart, because right now, Reb, the 4 people that she said knows about this one they're saying, I don't know what she's talking about, man. I really don't have any. One of the ladies' lifelong friends. And she says, I don't have any account of that. I don't remember what Miss Ford is talking about. She's my friend. She's been my friend for a long time. You want me to tell you what I'd do? I'd subpoena. There wouldn't be a hearing. I'd subpoena. If I were the Senate, the U.S. Senate, and I was charged with confirming or not Brett Kavanaugh, everybody that made that claim, I'd subpoena, and you go under oath. And we'd get to the bottom of it. And I'd have that fancy schmancy David Gregory's wife, who's one of these renowned defamation lawyers, and I'd sue them for everything they've got. I'd rip the hide off this thing, son. I would sue them for everything they've got. If you're going to accuse me of something like that, you damn well better have your stuff together. I don't care what the New York Times says or the Washington Post, New Yorker. I mean, they're nothing but propaganda arms of the stop and the resistance movement. That's all they are. That's all they've ever been. It's just been kind of a wink and a nod. They're showing you clearly exactly who they are now. But I can tell you this. You want to make up stories, we're going to subpoena. I mean, if you're going to sit there and impugn a person's integrity and try to destroy their credibility, there's going to be some consequences for you. And I said Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, as soon as this lady's story begins to fall apart, guess what? They'll find another one. And there'll probably 1 or 2 or 3 more to come along. This is nothing about the Supreme Court, or Brett Kavanaugh. This is about not having a constitutionalist. I mean, Jernigan calls him a I've never heard that. I mean, I don't know what I mean, there are a lot of pro-business lawyer. I don't understand that. His rulings have been in favor of commerce. That makes him a pro-business lawyer. I think the Constitution is kind of pro-business, if you want to be honest with you. When I think the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, I think those things are kind of pro-business. Let's take a break. Well, I know we're getting behind. I know we got a call. We'll get to that call in 2 seconds. Well, I'm lying. 3 or 4 minutes. Back in just a minute. Thanks to Rivals, a store divided. Talking about Gamecocks and Tigers, congratulations to both. If you want something with a Gamecock on it, you want something with a Tiger paw on it, go to Rivals, a store divided.